2 full-time jobs,
It's difficult,
150
huh?
books. I mean, these are very good statistics.
We did great.
I believe. Good job. Good job. Good job to us.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to a new year and a new video.
And
This is now going to be the set of videos where it's recapping 2025.
yes, and we do have a lot of things to talk about
We have a lot of things
because
to
we
talk about.
did read a lot of books in 2025. I think both of us combined 150 book plus.
Wow.
A very, very, very productive year,
And
I have
different
to
books.
say.
I
And
don't think
2
we read a
full-time
lot of.
jobs.
Yep. So please like, subscribe so we can have one full-time job. Please follow, please support. Okay.
So today
we had a very difficult test today.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we were deciding on our favorite books of 2025, and we had to pick 5.
5 each.
5 was actually very difficult.
I mean,
To
it's
pick.
just different. Like
Yeah.
different books did different
Different
things,
vibes.
and
Yeah,
how do you choose one over the other? But
Yeah.
we did,
yeah.
and here
Somehow.
they are.
Mm.
Do you want to kick us off?
Okay, my first amazing read of 2025 is Anna Karenina.
Nice, nice song.
My first favorite book of 2025 is Anna Karenina by Tolstoy. And yeah, I've been putting off for a very long time to read this book because it's quite long. But it was definitely one of my favorite of the year. So Anna Karenina is a aristocrat in she's married to an aristocrat in Russia, and they live a very nice rich life, and then she starts an affair
Oh,
with Count Vronsky, and she start having this like passion, and they live the life, and she wants to follow her heart and be happy, and she's being judged because by society because she's a woman, and apparently it's acceptable for men to do that,
well,
but not for women.
as per my own judgment, no
So-
one can. But we get it.
Indeed, but back in the times, that was very apparently very wrongly perceived. So basically, she chose love, she chose passion, and this turns out to be like her social descent into like social descent. No one is like really respecting her anymore. No one is talking to her anymore. But she's ready to give it up, and I found it a very nice lesson of like sometimes okay, passion, love is great, but this book also highlights that the normal life, your family, your moral values are also like super important. But I also like that they're living in a life, it's like a bit, it gave me a bit the Great Gatsby vibe. They have like big
You're
parties.
selling it to me.
Yes. They have big parties, they are dressed super well. When Anna is coming into a room, like everyone is only looking at her. She's the main character.
When you were speaking, it reminded me a bit. I don't know if it's similar to Madame Bovary, like in the sense of just not being happy with what you have.
with what you have, and you want more, and then you realize, is that it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, she's the main character.
A fun fact?
Yeah.
Again, this goes back always to this topic of like you're more courageous in picking up books. I've had Anna Karenina on my bookshelf since I turned 21. I am now turning 28. Soon.
Yeah. It's time.
That says something.
Time to read it. An amazing
it's expiring.
book. It should be on your list for 2026.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna start with this. This beast. So this is Khosro and Shirin. Well, actually, Shirin and Khosro, and that's an important fact because Shirin is the name of the woman, Khosro is the name of the man. And this book is written by Nizami Ganjavi. He is 13th, would it be 13th century? This book was written 850 years ago, something like that. Very old. And why I kind of am mentioning like the order of the name, because I mean 100 years ago, even let alone like 900 years ago, like women were not at the forefront of everything,
Mm.
right? It was like a man's story, it's a man's world that we're living in. But Nizami was a very prominent like romance. Now when I say romance,
Hmm.
please, it's not the contemporary romance that we read nowadays,
Yeah.
right? A very prominent romance writer, poet actually, because this is written in like poet format where women are like at the forefront of the stories, and it's like so ahead of its time, and especially in this story. And yes, I have the same name as her, and I love that.
That's so
But
nice.
that's not why I love it. But like, you know, when I was, because I was reading it slash listening to it, because
Mm.
again, it's poetry format, it's
Yeah.
written in old language, it's very difficult to understand for me at least, just like reading it. So I had to also like listen to it and dissect it a bit as well. But it's a story that has always been like, it's part of like culturally, it's part of our language. It's, everyone knows Shirin and Khosro, Shirin and Farhad. There's a love triangle
Mm.
thing happening as well. But what I understood is that the story that we know has gotten so lost over the years that
Yeah.
this is not the story of what I knew what the
Mm.
story to be. The story is a lot more complex, and it is basically a love story of Khosro, who was a real life person. He was the king of Iran at that time during whatever
Mm.
empire. Sorry, I don't know. I will put the thing here. And Shirin was the princess of Armenia
Mm.
at that time, and a lot happens. It spans over many years. There's affairs, there's children's, there's love triangles, there's war, there's so much that happens. And what I'm first and foremost, one of the most beautifully written things I've ever read. There isn't a Penguin Classics edition of this in English,
Mm.
so I read it in Farsi, of course, but
Yeah.
there is like the Penguin Classics translation, interpretation of it in English, so it is accessible to everyone.
Mm.
Um, but I think for me, it holds like a lot of nostalgia, and like
Mm.
I said, you know, I love this fably folktale, although it's not really that, it's
Yeah.
not very magical, but it has this element of the way that it's written holds a lot of wisdom. And I love that it's like a story of a very strong woman 850 years ago.
Yeah.
So when we talk about like, we filmed another video where we talk about like femininity versus masculinity and like society norms and expectations. Well, imagine that 850 years
Yeah.
ago. And she, even today, for a woman today, she is like, for me, an incredible woman. And
Mm.
it's a very big epic love story that so much happens in between. And I love how she like knows her worth, and there's really really like incredible scenes and dialogue. And for me, I don't know, just the fact that it was written that long ago,
Mm.
I'm more of like, you go girl.
Yeah.
Like, you go girl.
Yeah.
But I
It
don't
is
know, it
inspiring.
holds a lot of nostalgia.
Mm.
It was so beautifully expressed, like
Yeah.
Nizami Persian poetry expressing love 1000
Mm.
whatever years, like it's the peak for me of like
Nice.
romance.
Yeah.
Right.
You
And
didn't read it in English, right?
no, I didn't
Mm.
read it in
So.
English.
Mm.
um but the story is great, so
Yeah.
I think irrespective, the main story is a really
Yeah.
incredible one. Like if you know Leilio Majnun, Romeo and Juliet, it's that type of like
Yeah.
an epic
I'm wondering if
story.
I can just go and read it and understand, for instance, the poetry.
I think that the
The
translation
ways. Yeah.
is simpler. Like I think it's
Mm.
translation slash interpretation,
Yeah.
the English
They
version
have
that
to.
they
Yeah.
did,
Mm.
because even I
Yeah.
think, for anyone even reading it in Farsi, it's not our norm
Yeah.
modern language, right?
Yeah.
um but it's very beautiful,
Mm.
and I
Nice.
don't know, I loved it.
Yeah.
And it took me a very long time to finish it, but it was the
Mhm.
first thing that I finished
Yeah.
in 2025.
Mm.
And I just, it's very dear and
Yeah.
special to me, and I'm so happy that I
Nice.
read it. And I'm not named after her, but
Amazing.
I'm so happy that
You share
there is
something.
something, there's a woman that's
Something
represented like
special.
this exactly
Oh,
with my name, because I
very
love her.
nice. Hmm.
Yeah, so please pick it up. I'm
Nice.
gonna put the English translation
Yeah.
link
I will check it out.
here. Yeah,
I
but
want to check it
I
out.
hope it
Yeah.
translates the same,
Yeah.
and I hope it's not just my sense of nostalgia
Yeah.
to it that is making me love it this
Yeah.
much. But it's
It's
incredible,
okay. Yeah.
incredible story.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad I don't have a French book on my
No.
on my list, but it's okay. I think I will go on to Alchemize,
Oof.
and I will not spend so much time on this because we discussed it in our video. I
Yeah.
think September or October. I don't remember.
Yeah.
This was the longest book I read in 2025.
Me too.
Yes, I trust it is
Me too.
1080 pages, or I don't know how many. I will not go into too much details. I mean, I think in 2025 we went into the romantasy
Yes.
fantasy world, right?
Yeah.
It also started with us
Oh,
reading Fourth
I
Wing and
forgot
the
about
full
that.
Akatar, and yeah, can you believe it was all in the same year?
Honestly, honorary mention because that was a
And you
special
know,
time.
it was a special time, and I love them. Like I also don't want to be. I mean, I don't think there is bad literature or like extremely bad books, or like I don't
Ah,
want to judge. There are bad books, but I don't want to judge in literary taste, let's say.
yeah.
So I mean, I still enjoyed it very much. I mean, it's very
No,
different.
it's special to me.
It's
It
very
was a great
different. It's
time.
action packed. It's like a lot of things happening. I also enjoy at the end of the year the slowness of like other books, but I
I mean,
still
to be
think
fair,
romantasy was very special to
have
us.
we ever talked about
That
a
much
book or
about book?
character
No,
as much as we talked
we
about
didn't.
what's their
No.
name? Cassian and
Yeah,
Reason and what's the other one named?
Reason and
What's the one in the
Feyre and
fourth wing?
Foswing,
Zayden.
Violet and
Like,
Zayden.
have we ever talked about characters this
And we
much?
got like
No.
so many people to read them, like it's crazy. And then I saw also on the Goodreads that
I
actually
have a friend.
Foswing,
She just texted me, "Happy New Year! I'm starting
yeah,
a court
oh,
of thorns and
we have
roses."
like a
So
lot of people like that have started to read this. And I saw on Goodreads also Foswing is the most read book, I think, of
I like
2025.
that. I love that.
It's so nice. I loved it. So I think it was an interesting journey. And Alchemized was also the last fantasy book. It's not really romantasy, but it's
It's
also very
fantasy, yeah.
fantasy. I think we talked about it in the background. It's a very sad book, I have to say.
Dark
It's
book.
dark, it's devastating. Even the love story is devastating.
Mm.
The war and how much it impacts the life of the people.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Would you have picked this book up if we never went into the romantasy fantasy world, do you think?
potentially yes.
You would have still
Yeah,
picked it up?
I would have picked yes because
Really?
it was on my list actually. I don't know why. This book I pre-ordered in Jan
Oh.
of the last year, and it was released when in
Maybe the
September.
Harry Potter
I think
reference?
so because I'm signed up on the Waterstones list and the sign and the
Mm.
signed version and all of this, and I remember seeing the announcement and the pre-order like months, like at least 6 months before it went more, because I'm convinced it was earlier in the year. And I remember I was like, oh, that looks interesting. Like I like
Okay.
fantasy, I like sci-fi. I didn't know how to place it,
Okay.
but I'm sure it was before I read even Force Wing and
Okay.
so on. I placed, and
I
then
might not have if you
yeah,
told me fantasy.
yeah,
Like, I remember when they told me to read Fourth Wing and I just saw like what it was about,
yeah,
and I was like, "What?
yeah. What is
What?
this? Yeah,
Dragon? What?" So
yeah,
I really credit Fourth
yeah,
Wing to making me
mm,
excited about like a
yeah,
genre, and I would have never read this
yeah,
book or many other books.
yeah.
So it was a great time, honestly, and this was a great
Honestly,
book.
yeah. And this
This
was a
was a great
great
book.
book. I love that it made us feel like so many emotions. It's not like really like you like the characters, but the way
Hmm.
the emotions are conveyed, the story is told, like you feel for them, like you
You
want
know, like
this
a
world
dark
to be
cloud.
better.
I
Yes.
felt like she created a dark cloud and she kept that dark cloud over our heads
Yes.
throughout the entire
Yeah.
story from beginning till end.
Yeah.
And I felt like she had a purpose, she had a mission,
Yeah.
objective, and she did that objective
She delivered.
incredibly
Yeah.
well. Now, do I want a dark cloud over my head? I don't know. Like this is
Yeah.
for me why it's not maybe
That's true.
part of this top 5,
Yeah.
but for what she wanted to do, she did it
Yeah.
brilliantly.
Brilliantly.
SenLinYu, correct?
SenLinYu.
Great job. And this
SenLinYu.
is her debut
Amazing.
novel, right?
It's a second, yeah, or second
I
one.
mean,
Yeah.
traditionally
Yeah.
published novel. So great job.
Yeah.
We'll read more from you.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Okay, so I'll do this one because
Yeah.
the other books are books that we've
Yeah.
discussed on this channel. But this one we haven't really talked about. So I
Nice.
read this year Brave New World
Mm.
by Aldous Huxley. Now, this was a book that it's a dystopian if you don't know what this book is about, and it's kind of like this society where people are controlled through pleasure.
Mm,
So you have like 1984 where it's controlled through fear, and then you have this type of dystopian where people are controlled by pleasure,
mm,
essentially. And it's a book that when I read it and when I was reading it, I liked it, but I didn't think I loved it. You know, I
mm.
was like, oh, this was a good book.
Yeah.
This was very interesting. It made me think a lot, and then I put it away. Well, it's 7 months later,
Yes.
8 months later, and I still think about this book.
Mm.
And actually, when I sit and I think about my experience reading this book, I I will say something that might get me in trouble, but I think that this was better executed than 1984.
Mm.
I think that the concept of 1984 was stronger. I love the idea of what
Yeah.
1984 is and how much of a cultural impact that book has had. Um, but in execution, for me, in execution,
Mm.
at some points, it wasn't consistent. It wasn't the execution wasn't as good as the idea. Like it was great at the beginning and then it dropped, and like it was a
Mm.
bit this. But for me, I felt the execution of this was really, really good.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish, like, it was the idea of that and the execution of this
Yeah.
somehow. Don't hate me if you love. I like it. I'm not saying that I don't like it,
Yeah.
um, but it was
Yeah.
also a very interesting concept because we all know 1984. We all know fear. Okay, the government controls you.
Big
Well,
brother.
here the government controls you, but you are oblivious, or you think that you're so happy.
Mm.
If you're watching Pluribus, is that how you call it? The new show from the Breaking Bad creator is like, it gives me
Those
a little
vibes.
bit of this
Mm.
vibe. But those in the show I'm not sure they're aware of what's
Mm.
going on. But it's a very interesting notion of like, even if you get everything that you want, even if you are happy, um, is that still like a fulfilled
Yeah.
life? Like, what is life without the bad?
Yeah.
Like, if everything is always pleasure, I feel the
Yeah.
pleasure is not even pleasure anymore. Like,
Exactly. It's
it
just
becomes
a
torture somehow,
baseline. Yes, exactly.
right? Like, very, very interesting
Yeah.
things that it explores. And I didn't know it at the time
Yeah.
that I was reading it, that it impacted me this much.
Yeah.
But I still think about it. And I think it was wonderful. So if you haven't read it, and you know what, even if you don't like dystopia, read the book.
Yeah.
Like,
Read the
it's a
book.
really good,
It's a
really
great book.
great story.
Yeah, it's a great book. I loved
Yeah.
it also. Yeah.
Mm,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay. Then we have Piranesi. And I have to thank you for this one, actually, because you gave it to
You're
me like,
welcome.
not sure, yeah, Mish, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But I loved it. I mean, I definitely think it's a masterpiece. I don't know if I talk about this book before on this channel.
Yeah.
Probably yes. So I'll not go into the details, but I mean, masterpiece. Like from the beginning, where you start the book, you don't really understand where you are, what is going on, who is this character, why is he like a
Yeah.
child in an adult, and why is he speaking to statue? And then the first 20-30% is so confusing, so lost, and then you get into the main like story of the book, you understand the background and what is going on here, and you're just like, wow, mind blowing. Like,
Mm.
I don't know, everything about this book I loved. The way it's told, the way it's written, the theme is talking about,
The twist
the
was
twist
was
was,
twisting.
yeah, very twisted. And yeah, I really loved it, to
I
be
think it's a
honest.
book I didn't appreciate when I
Yeah.
read it. Like, I read it years ago
Mm,
and I liked it, but I don't think it's a book I need to reread
yeah.
because there's so much more to it
Yes.
than how I read it, I feel.
True. I felt like there's so many layers and there's so many things that you can extrapolate to
Exactly.
like different things. I remember like finishing this book and still thinking about it and having like different theories and linking something with
Mm,
something else. And I was like, wow, this is like exactly what is like how I want to feel
mm.
finishing a book, you know? I want to still think of it and like imagining what it, yeah, I loved it.
It was great.
Yeah, a
Wonderful
great
book.
book. A
Okay.
great book.
Now, the next, from here onwards, these are books that we've talked about
Yeah.
extensively on this channel. But They are my favorite books of this year, so I'm just gonna talk about
Mhm.
them, not too much into detail. Maybe I'll start with this one. So,
Mm.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Mm.
Galaxy. This is on this list because it was such a pleasant surprise. And again, I like
Yeah.
happiness as much as I like I like sadness. So, as much as I love a book that makes me think 1,000 miles an hour, I also love a book that just entertains me purely, or that like makes me feel super happy and makes me laugh. And this was that. Like, I don't know what I was getting myself into. I'm not a very big sci-fi person. Maybe
Mm.
I'll become one in 2026, but
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary, it's on my list.
It's also on my 5 stars, but I had to shortlist.
No, I mean, this is very difficult. Like, there's plenty of other great books that
Yeah.
we've read, but I just think that it was a very pleasant surprise, and it was very well executed. It was funny, it was entertaining, it was absurd, and within the absurdity and within the funny and within the humor, it had a lot to say about humans, human life, the way that we carry ourselves, or the way that we live, that we think are normal. And when that's explained from the perspective of like a very weird alien from another planet, you laugh, but then if you take a minute, it has a lot to say. You're like, that is strange, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do we do it? We don't even think about our
Mm.
daily habits. So it's not just the surface level funny book. It has deeper meaning if
Yeah.
you want to look for it. And if you don't, it's very entertaining
Yeah.
book as well. So I think he did a very, very great job. And again, it's I don't think you can say important things just in like a heavy way. I think if you can also give that message across in something that's very easy to digest and easy to understand, like that's also a great skill on its own, right? So great job, Douglas Adams. I will definitely read more, like continue this series, and I hope the rest of the series is the same quality as the
Mm.
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll join you.
yeah, that will be a fun journey.
Yeah. To read the rest. Okay, next I don't have it with me, but I have
Ding.
ding, The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath.
Oof. Yes.
And I don't know if I picked this book when I was losing my mind, but it might have been. But I loved it because I found it so relatable. Um, so this is the story. I mean, I think it's a semi-biographical actually book
Hmm.
from Sylvia, but this is the story of I can't remember her name now.
Ding.
Yeah, and she is moving to New York. It's the 50s, and she's starting a career in like I think design, fashion design, or something like that. And she's starting to like she spent like a very nice summer. She meets like a lot of nice people, and then she starts like to have a good career. And then suddenly, I don't know why she start falling into like depression, and she's I mean yeah, there are some trigger stuff, so we know why, but she start falling into a depression, but it's something like so insane that she start getting like crazy at the same time. I don't know,
Hmm.
it's like she doesn't know, everything starts unraveling, she's losing her mind, she's like completely losing the sense again on like what is expecting of woman, what is expected of woman from society
Hmm.
point of view, and what is like she's doing with her life and what she wants to do. So I really like that it touches a lot of themes that I enjoyed. It questioned a lot of like society norms and what is it to be a woman, and still until today, and I mean across the centuries, I feel this question remains unanswered. But I loved it. I mean, obviously you feel like you getting, it's very intense, you feel like you're getting insane with her until she goes to I don't know, some sanitarium again. I love this concept of sanitarium, by the way. I
Me
feel like
too, huh? I
you
love
know
it. Maybe we should go
I
visit.
we need to bring this back to life, I
You
believe,
want to
because
be in a sanitarium?
yeah, why not? They have
Ladies and
nice
gentlemen.
ones in the Alps, in the mountains.
Yeah, we can also go there sane
They
on
go
holiday.
hiking, they go, yeah, we can also, this is our own sanitarium nowadays, travels. So so yeah, I really enjoy the bell jar. Yeah, so on my list,
On my
my top
list.
5.
On my list 2020. I
Yes,
think there's not enough
too
time.
many.
I was doing the calculations. Okay, I read 68 books this year. I have like over 100 unread, so
Yeah,
it's not physically possible. Or maybe
It's
it is, who knows? Maybe I'll read more in
yeah,
2026.
yeah, it is possible.
I mean, I still have a lot more
Yeah.
time in my day that I can dedicate to reading. So that is still possible. You know what? Scratch my words. Who knows? Let's see. Okay.
Okay.
I think one of the best books I've read ever.
Ah, yes.
Thank you for pushing me to read this. Crime and Punishment,
Yes.
Dostoevsky. I was in a bookstore in Tehran, and I had a friend who was, asking me about books and recommendations and all of this. And I was recommending her some books, and then I
Mm,
was talking about Crime and Punishment, and the man that was working
yeah.
there was like listening to me, and then he was like, "Oh, you're doing my job. Like,
Yeah.
what book are you talking this passionately
Yeah.
about?" I was like, "Oh, Crime and Punishment."
Mm,
And he was like, I think that that's a book beyond a
yeah.
masterpiece. Like, whoever has
Yeah.
read that book is like above average of like reading literature and all of that.
Yeah.
And then we had like a 10-minute, 15-minute discussion about how incredible this book was. And because I was explaining it to my friend, and he was like, "Well, you just like gave away the plot." And I was saying, like, it doesn't even
Yeah.
matter. Like, the plot doesn't even
It's not
matter.
about the plot.
The plot is not what
Yeah.
makes it a masterpiece.
Uh,
The plot is a very small portion. It happens even at the beginning of the book. You even know from the title, Crime
yeah.
and Punishment. A guy commits a crime and goes through the punishment or
Yeah.
something like that. But the masterpiece of it comes from the way that it explores
Mm,
that human action, reaction, consciousness, thought, whatever, everything that a human goes through,
yeah.
um, committing a crime, even not even related to a crime. You can relate a lot of this to different aspects of life, but the way that it dissects human brain and actions is
Yeah.
world class masterpiece and easy to read. Like, not easy to read as in to say that it's not deep, but sometimes, I feel like it's scary to read books that are this weight because you
Yeah.
think like you don't have the capability to
Yeah.
understand it, and it's
Mm,
not like that. You will
that's true.
understand, and
Mm,
anyone, it's accessible. Like, you can read it
mm,
and you will take away from it um a lot of things. So please don't think
yeah.
that it's a big scary Russian classic book and I don't have the brains to read it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like that. I actually find it to be very accessible
Mm,
for such a great book. You just need to spend time with it.
yeah.
Like, it's not difficult. Is that a word?
Difficult.
Lee?
Ah.
That's
No.
not a word, right?
No.
It's not hardly written like word for word, but it's complex in the thoughts. Like, you
Mm,
need to take your time with it, and
yeah.
you need to think about everything that it's
Yeah.
presenting to you. So in that way it's complex.
Digested. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Mm,
take your time. This is a book that I took my time,
yeah.
and if I didn't have the proper time to dedicate to reading, I would
Yeah.
not pick it up. Like, I
Mm,
was I was like, this book deserves the right attention. So if it's
yeah.
just me and I have 10 minutes and I need to leave the door, no, I'm not doing
Yeah.
this. Like, it needs
Exactly. You
time.
need to sit.
So yes,
Nice.
incredible book. I know it's very popular, but it's a great book. Like, I
Yeah.
can't
I
deny
mean,
that. And
what
it's
can we
not
do? Yeah.
exactly.
It's amazing.
And it's not. I'm not saying it's a great book because it's such a popular and
Yeah.
big book, and I'm just saying it so I'm also like part of this big smart
Yeah.
group. But it's a really, really, really great
A
book
great book.
that everyone should read
Yeah.
at some point in their life.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's like my love letter to
Oh.
Dostoevsky. Great job.
I love it. Good
Yeah.
job. Okay, and then my last book of 2025, the last book I read and the last book I fell in love with is Near to the Wild Heart by Clarice Lispector. And okay, I'll also talk about this book on another video, but this is the story of Joanna, and Joanna is a wild, creative kid, and you are basically following her into her consciousness through life, not through plots, but through her own mind. And she goes through like different things. She gets married and she goes through a lot of things, but basically she's surrounded by a lot of people who don't understand her. And because she's very, very different. So I really like the way it disconstructs like
Mm.
social beliefs and morality, and how it also challenged the way a woman should be, because she's like the opposite of that. So I really loved it, and I think it's beautifully written. It conveys like a lot of great important messages that I think I found personally very important, and I love to read about. So yeah,
I think these are the books that create that make us capable of having empathy. Like
yeah,
these are the books that challenge your beliefs and challenge the way that you think.
yeah,
And I think that's why they hold such
yeah.
value,
Value, yeah,
because you might see another person behaving in the same
yeah,
way, but other people that maybe have not spent the time that we
yeah,
spend to, like, read the brain
yeah.
of someone who
Exactly.
is a different
Dissect
way than we
someone's
are.
perspective. Yeah,
Exactly, they might just see it and be like, okay, this person is a
yeah,
bad person, a
yeah,
weird person, or whatever, making it that
yeah,
surface level and simple. But when you read these stories, you can understand
yeah,
a lot deeper why someone is the way that they are, or why
yeah.
certain people react a certain way.
True.
And I think this is why these
Mm,
books are really
yeah,
important.
yeah, and also the question about yourself, your own behavior,
Exactly.
your own thoughts pattern. Like
Am I
sometimes,
just
am
like a
I
sheep
just like,
following?
yeah, am I just like doing this because society
Yeah.
told me to? Am I just supposed to be that person?
Yeah.
Did I choose it or
Mm,
not? Freedom versus
a lot to think
expectations.
about.
A lot to think about. As you know, I love that.
She loves to think.
So that's our five
I have one
books.
more.
Ah, you have one more.
Quick one.
Ah, yes,
A book
of course.
that we
I
can
thought we
agree to
finished.
disagree. Khalas. You know what? We've established that I love this and she doesn't.
Yes,
And it's okay. And
that's all
I
right.
adore it.
Oh,
Okay, I love Jane Austen. I really love Jane Austen. And I read Pride and Prejudice in 2025. And the more
mm,
time goes, the more I
yeah.
love it. And I don't know. It's just, I don't know what to say. I've said, I
Mm,
think, everything I need to say about this book, but I love the way that it's written. I love the story. I like the characters. Not to say I like the characters in the sense that, like, I like
mm,
every single character and I want to be friends with every single character. No, but I like the characters that she develops, and I like the whatever they represent, and I like how the story develops, and I
yeah.
love her world, and I love her writing style, and that's why maybe I'm obsessed with the one
Mm,
I'm currently reading, the Unselected Journals of
yeah.
M. Lyon. I mean, it's not the same. I can't say that Beth Brower and Jane
Yeah.
Austen write the exact same way. They don't. But I like this charming, witty kind
Mm,
of writing, or having a lot to say in
yeah.
this style of writing, I mean, maybe you can understand, like, I like a bit of humor. I mean, I love humor, but I always found it difficult to find things that, like, are humorous and are light
Mm,
but are well done, and they have, like, meaning as well, right? So I credit books that can do that, and I really love Jane Austen, and I think she broke a lot of boundaries and barriers and all of that, but I don't love these books because of that.
mm,
This is like cherry on the cake, but even if she didn't, I really
yeah.
like these books, and she excites me. Like, I'm so excited that I have more books of her to
Yeah, to
read,
read.
and I
Mm,
need to save her maybe once a year,
yeah.
one book a year,
Okay.
and then I have like 3 more years, and then that's it, and then I'm sad,
And then yes.
and then I will reread. But I don't know. I love
Yes.
it. I love it.
Huh. Yeah.
That's it. I love it. Jane Austen.
Great. Jane
Good job.
Austen. Yes.
Okay. Top 10 books from
Yes.
our side to you of 2025. Pick up any of these books. You will
Yeah.
not regret it.
Yes, please do read and let us know what you think.
And please let us know what you loved in 2025, because
Yes.
as if we don't already have a long list of
Yes.
2026. But
But
we
why
can always
not?
add.
We look for more recommendations
Always.
always to add to our TBR.
And you know what? Give me books that are not super popular or known. I
Yeah.
would love to discover hidden gems. I would love that.
Yeah.
Okay, to another great year of reading.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.